Hey guys, John here with RealTruck.com. Today I want to show you how to install the TruXedo Edge Tonneau cover on this 2016 Chevy Silverado. Alright, so we've got everything out of the box. As you guys can see here, it comes with everything you need to get this on the truck. It comes with your tonneau cover, your side rails, your mounting hardware, and also your bulkhead seal. So let's get this on the truck. So the first step in installing our tonneau cover onto our truck is to install our bulkhead seal. Really simple process to do. Make sure that it's good and clean. It's not a bad idea to take some isopropyl alcohol and a nice clean cloth and wipe it down, let that dry, and then start attaching our bulkhead seal. And we're going to do that just by peeling it back. Start right here at the edge, and we're just going to follow along the edge line of our bulkhead, just like so. And then once we get it out here to the end where we're going to need it, then we just take a pair of scissors and just snip it off right here. So we're ready to start putting our rails on. There's a couple things we got to do to prep this to get it so we can put them on there. First thing is, you see this rubber plug right back here? What we need to do is we need to pop that out because we've got a special type of clamp that's going to go down in the stake pocket hole to hold it on back here. And it's real easy. Just stick your finger in behind it, just pop it out just like so. And then we have some spacers because this has factory bed caps on it. We're going to use these spacers in here, and these actually will help keep your clamps straight and keep everything in place. So we're just going to go right up from where we're going to put our clamps, and we're going to slide these in behind our bed cap and just pull out on it a little bit and slide it right up in there, and then just press down and it'll stick right on. So what we're going to do then is we're going to do all three of them and determine where we're going to put our clamps, and that's where we're going to be placing these spacers in there as well. And we'll go through and do that here real quick. So once we have those on and stuck in place, then we're going to take our side rails and we're going to get these positioned where they're going to go. Now what we're going to do is make sure that on the outside edge we have it even, and we want to press back on our rail to kind of squeeze that seal back here at the back a little bit and just make sure they're even at the top. Now, it's a good idea to just make things a lot easier for you if you pick up a couple of spring clamps. These are plastic, so they're not going to hurt anything on the truck. And we're just going to put these on here, and these are going to help hold this in place for us while we're getting our clamps all situated. First thing we're going to do is install our stake pocket clamp. Now this one's a little bit different, guys. As you can see here, the pieces are shaped a little bit differently than our standard style clamp is. So we're going to take this piece that has the double edges on it and the threaded end, and that's going to drop down inside our stake pocket hole. Simply put it in just like so. And then we'll take our bolt and we'll run it through the other piece that's slotted. To do this, you can see on the bottom of this one, it has this orange piece here. That's going to actually go to the bottom, whereas these teeth are going to go up here onto your side rail to hold it. So we'll get this started. And we're going to get this in place where we want it to go. And once we have that in place, then we can go ahead and tighten this one up a little bit. And I would recommend, guys, just snugging this down for right now because we may have to move this rail around just a little bit. So we're just going to snug this up. And that'll just kind of keep it where we want it to go there. So and then we're going to go ahead and move on to our next one. So the main thing what we want to do as we're going through here is just basically make sure that our rubber seal, and I can show you guys here real quick on this one. You guys can see that this whole side has a rubber seal. Well, we just want to make sure that the rubber seal and the edge of our rail is actually sitting at the top of the edge of our bed cap. So that way we get a nice seal, we don't get water, and if you live in a cold climate, ice and stuff building up on the sides. So we'll go ahead and put this clamp in this spot. Now another thing to keep in mind here, guys, when you're doing this is also to make sure that these clamps stay straight, because if they get twisted, then what they're going to do is they're not going to clamp into the ridges on the side of your rail here, and it's not going to hold it in place properly. So we got that one where we want it, and then once we have these all in place, then we can go back and tighten these all down. Okay, there we go. Everything looks nice and level, and everything's lined up nice and even where it's going to sit. So we can remove our helper hand clamps here and go ahead and do the other side, and it's going to attach exactly the same way as this side did. So let's get that done, and then I'll show you guys how to attach the cover to the rails. All right, so we're ready to attach our cover to our rails, and you can see on your cover you have these studs that stick down on each end, and there's also slots right here on your rail. Now what we're going to do then is we're going to set up our rail with these studs going through those slots, and then on the bottom we have this big plastic washer and also a self-locking nut that we're going to attach on these to hold this to the rail. So let's get this up on the truck. Now once I have this set on here, I'm going to go ahead and just attach this. I'm not going to tighten it up at all, but just to hold this in place while I go over and set the other side. Okay, so we've got our cover attached to our rails on both sides. So what we're going to do now then is we're going to take our tension adjuster, which is these things right here. There's one on each side. And we're just going to screw this in until it just touches our cover. And that's just going to help set that so that way when we roll this out and attach it in the back, it doesn't pull it away from where we have it set back here. And once we do that, we'll go ahead and tighten these down. Now, I should probably tell you guys just something to keep in mind with these tension adjusters. The best way to do this is to have this thing out in the hot sun for 2 or 3 hours with it rolled out and locked down on the back of the truck. And that's going to allow it to stretch to where it needs to be, and then you can go ahead and roll it up and adjust the tension to where you need it if you need it to be a little tighter or a little looser. Colder climates, cold weather, then you're probably going to need to loosen these up. So just keep that in mind when you're messing around with these. All right, guys, we've got our cover attached to our rails. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and roll this out, make sure that it's tensioned properly and that everything's going to lay down and attach like it's supposed to. So let's do that. Okay, here's a good example for you. You guys can see right here, this is set too tight. So what we're going to do then is we're going to roll this back up. We're going to loosen those 2 bolts that hold it on, and we're going to let this thing scoot forward just a little bit, and then we'll tighten her all back up. All right, guys, as you can see there, we've got the proper amount of tension on this now. When you tap on it, it should sound kind of like a drum. That's going to tell you that you've got it properly adjusted. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll this back open, tighten everything back down in place, and then we'll close this all up and show you guys what it looks like all finished. Okay, guys, we've got everything adjusted, everything tightened down. Now if we were going to go down the road with it rolled up, we have these straps that are really handy that you just hook right into the hooks on the back there, one on both sides, and that'll hold our cover in place. Something to keep in mind is you never want to have this cover all the way up against the back window of your truck because it could damage your glass. So always use the straps, strap it down the way it's supposed to be. So we're gonna go ahead and roll this out. Now, something to keep in mind here, guys, as this thing sits on the truck and gets in the sun, it's going to stretch a little bit, and that's going to help everything to function exactly the way it's supposed to, and your cover is going to lay really nice, your seals are going to lay really nice, and everything's going to look awesome. But there you go, guys. There's your cover, all tensioned up, sitting the way it's supposed to be. And really, that's how quick and easy it is to install this TruXedo Edge tonneau cover onto your truck. So remember, guys, until next time, happy motoring.